It is time for our review, challenge, and example section for dating dynamics. So first, let's review what we learned. We learned how to master the 7 microexpressions and how they come up in dating situations. We also learned the importance of dynamic expressiveness. This is using your face, your voice tone, and your nonverbal behavior to add expressiveness and emotionality to your dates. And lastly, we talked about dynamic mirroring. This is using your posture, face, pacing, volume, and voice tone to mirror subtly your date to show that you are willing to be on the same page. Now, before we go into the examples, I just want to expand a little bit on why facial expressions are so important, if I haven't hammered that home already. First, they show hidden emotions, which we talked about. Second, they make you have a reason to deep gaze, to really look into someone's eyes and face. It gives you more motivation to deep gaze because you have something to look for. Next, it allows you to do dynamic and responsive listening. Now, we're going to talk about responsive listening a little bit later in the relationship section, but looking for people's facial expressions and knowing how to respond to them helps you be a better conversationalist. And lastly, facial expressions are a major component of human lie detection. Now, we're not talking a lot about human lie detection in this course, and I battled that one because I was like, well, there's lying that happens in dating, but I didn't want to focus on it, so I decided I would stick with the facial expression aspect of lie detection as a way for you to gauge if you're spotting any hidden emotional cues. So when you're looking at lie detection, you have to look and see, are the words and the facial expressions congruent? So in other words, is what someone's saying matching with their face? So if they say, I'm sad, they should show a sad facial expression. If they say they're happy, they should show genuine happiness. You will be shocked at how much you see the incongruent nature of facial expressions when people are lying, so that their face betrays the lie that they're trying to hide. So I thought I would show you a quick video of how that works, how being able to read facial expressions really allows you to see the hidden emotions that are going on behind someone's words. So in this video I'm about to show you, it's from The Bachelorette, I want you to look for 3 different things. First, obviously, I want you to look for 3 different facial expressions that aren't congruent with her words. Second, I want you to look for nodding and pausing. Now, in my human lie detection course, I explained that nodding and pausing are 2 major cues of deception. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but in this video, you'll be able to see it. Where people nod yes when they say no, and they're lying, or they take an extra long pause before they speak because they are trying to calculate the lie in their head. So in this video, I want you to look for those 3 things, and then we'll break it down and discuss it.
But I really think there's some important things we need to talk about. Emily's ex-fiance was also a race car driver, and he passed away on the way to a race. And I know that obviously still weighs heavily on her heart, so I don't know how she'll take me being a race car driver. So I'm a little nervous about one thing, I'm going to admit. So my background is in racing. So I didn't know if you knew that about me, but race cars since I was 14 years old. Like, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I am, totally. I love racing. I love being at the racetrack. I have so many good memories there, and it's a part of, who I am. It's really the only sport I know about that I know, like the back of my hand. I can tell you about racing. I can tell you about cars. Tell me.
So my background is in racing.
So here you go, I've slowed it down for you. Watch her make that sadness microexpression right as he says to her, yes, I'm in racing. And then she goes right into fear where you see the whites of her eyes. There's the sadness, and there's the fear that we learned. Now watch this. She takes an extra long pause and shakes her head no right as she answers his question.
Like, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I am, totally. I love racing. I love being at the racetrack. It's really the only sport I know about.
And then lastly, she makes this content microexpression as she's answering the question, showing that she doesn't really feel all that great about racing. Now, since we're talking about lie detection, I thought I would throw in 2 quick stats about men and women and how they lie in romance. Men lie to appear more powerful, interesting, and successful. Typically, they lie about themselves 8 times more than they lie about others. Women lie less about themselves and more to protect others' feelings, or to make others feel better about themselves. Now, this makes sense when you think about it, but it's a good thing to know, a good statistic to know about when you're talking about the differences between why men and women lie, especially in romantic environments. Now, I'm going to show you one more video, and this one is pulled out of my lie detection course. So if you see a couple of the subtitles that are advanced, that's because it's from my lie detection course, but I wanted to pull it in here just so you could see an example of a couple more facial expressions that leak through on this date. He didn't even actually make it through the night. She asked him to leave immediately after this conversation was over. So I want you to watch for some surprise, some contempt, and we'll slow it down and talk about it.
I will pack my bags and I'll go wherever you ask me to go, and I will start a life.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, you tell me what it means for you. Like, what do you think?
I mean, I have a daughter, and
Do you want to have more kids?
absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I make no secret about it. I mean, I want a lot more kids, and I'll stop there. So I'll scare you off. But yes, I do. To answer your question.
I don't want to say, like, okay, I want to get married and have kids and, like, a textbook. A lot of these things don't get planned out. They happen, you know? So, I mean, there's a balance, and I think in life you've always got to find a balance, whether it's work, life, relationships, you know? Do you want to have more kids?
Absolutely.
So as soon as she says this, his eyebrows shoot up his forehead in surprise, right? He did not expect her to say that, and then immediately he goes into a little contempt smirk at that comment. He also does something called verbal negation and completely avoids answering the question.
I don't want to say, like, okay, I want to get married and have kids and, like, a textbook. A lot of these things don't get planned out. They happen, you know? So, I mean, there's a balance, and I think in life you've always got to find a balance, whether it's work, life, relationships, you know?
So those were two very quick videos on how quickly you see those micro expressions and how they can be used in lie detection. But I have to offer you a warning. Lie detection is a very complex, very life-changing set of tools. So if you want to dig deeper into lie detection, please hone that skill. Don't be an amateur lie detector. That will get you into more trouble than good. And if you would like to take our lie detection course, of course you're welcome to. I'm happy to offer you a 50% off coupon, but that's only for those of you who really want to dig deep into it. I have one more quick video for you to show you microexpressions in action. Now this is from the show Dating in the Dark, and you'll see that she makes facial expressions in the dark. So we make these whether or not someone's looking at us or not, and you can see how she feels about this man when he's revealed to her right when they turn the lights. So this is during the reveal part of the show where they turn on the lights for one member of the couple and the other person gets to see them, and they decide afterwards if they want to go on a date. So I want you to watch the clip, and you can see what she thinks about him written all over her face.
And last to be revealed to each other are Kerry and Adam.
I feel like Adam and I have got along really, really well. Like, I feel like we've known each other for ages, and it's kind of strange that I don't know what he looks like.
I'm not too worried about the red hair. It has never affected me in the past, so it doesn't really faze me. I think she'll like me for who I am.
Whew. I don't know about you, but I found that clip kind of painful to watch. When he was revealed, you see her facial expression change into 3 different expressions rather quickly. Here they are slowed down for you. First, she flashes disgust. There it is, her nose crinkled up, her upper teeth showing. Then she shows a sadness, surprise, hybrid expression. That does happen where you see her eyebrows are pinched down to that sadness, and her mouth is just dropped open because she can't believe that's what he looks like. You even see a tiny little chin jet of anger here. Watch her chin. It goes out. Wait a second. Here it comes. Replayed slow-mo a few more times. See how that lip and chin was up right when they cut back to her. There's that sadness, anger chin jet. And then lastly, she touches her forehead. This is a gesture of blocking or shame, which we don't learn in this course, but it's something interesting for you to note where people do this when they don't like what they see or what's in front of them. They cover their eyes or they touch the side of their forehead with their hands as a way of trying to physically block out what is in front of them. And as we could have guessed, since we read micro expressions, he doesn't end up getting a date. He waits on the balcony, but she comes out the front door and leaves. My challenge action tip for you this week to practice your micro expressions is that if you're unsure of a facial expression, you can mirror it. So this not only helps you with mirroring, but it also will help you understand facial expressions. Remember we talked about how not only does your emotion cause your face, but your face also causes your emotion. So I want you to practice in low stress environments with friends or family that if they're making a facial expression that you're unsure of, you either don't remember it or you don't recognize it, you can try to mirror it and see how you feel. That will help you empathetically tune into what they are feeling. So I want you to practice that this week and practice seeing those micro expressions. That will really make sure that when you're on a date, it comes more naturally.